I'm curious, why do so many politicians have all of these campaign promises before they get elected into being in public office, and then all of a sudden when they're in public office, nothing changes? For example, Trump on the wall. For example, Hillary Clinton saying that everything is wrong with public policy. Everything's wrong with politics and the bureaucrats, but she's been a career politician, the same as Joe Biden. Like, why do they blame everything yet change nothing? Is this because of that distortion from their donors, and they promise all these things to be appetizing to the voters,
plebes,
and then all of a sudden, like, they just
I think it's a big part of it.
Towards their
I think
donors?
it's a big part of it. A lot of it's a deflection tool to be able to, advance their own political goals, when in fact the things that they need to get done are the ones that their donor masters have told them to get done. I think some of this is also, politicians sometimes just make mistakes. I mean, a U.S. president can't do certain things without Congress. And so you don't know what Congress is going to look like. So I try not to make promises that are legislative promises in this campaign, things that are contingent on Congress. The things I'm talking about doing are the things that I can get done without asking Congress for permission or for forgiveness. Shut down a lot of those excess bureaucratic agencies. Lay off 75% of the useless federal employee headcount. 25% of the people can get the rest of the job done. These are things that I'm going to be able to get done in my capacity as U.S. president. And the fact that I don't have promises that I've made to donors about very specific things that I'm going to do. No, the promises I've made are the ones that are transparent on media and social media to the American public every day. That's what I hope will be what allows me to succeed in a way that many of these politicians of yesterday have not. And I do think it's going to take an outsider to do that. I also think it's going to take somebody coming from the next generation to do it.
I agree.
I really do. I mean, it's our generation, your generation, that's going to bear the brunt of the $33 trillion national deficit that we have, and so on. And so I think it makes sense right now more than ever to have somebody from the different generation, from the next generation, to lead us.
Where do you feel like your weak spots are? Where are your blind spots?
By definition, if they're blind spots,
you don't know about them. I get it,
but let me think about that.
Because I've heard a lot of people say experience.
Yeah, I think that's a big one. I mean, I think that...
But that's the oversaid one.
Yeah, I think it is the oversaid one. But I think it's a legitimate question. I mean, I think that even for a lot of people in the Republican primary base who view me favorably, I think the way they view me right now, we're sitting in October. We got time to evolve this. Many of them didn't know who I was 6 months ago. But right now, I think many of their headspace is great young man, breath of fresh air. That's what I hear a lot. Such an important voice in this race. And I'm glad you're running. And thank you for making the sacrifice to run. And you have a bright future ahead. And whether you're president or something else, I'm so glad you're playing a role in our country's future. That's where the headspace is. There's the 8% of people out there, 10% of people out there who are already supporting me. That's good. It was 0% in March, so we've made some progress. But the big obstacle is getting people from seeing me as a nice young man with great ideas and energy and youthful spirit, who has a bright future ahead and has a role to play, to say, that's going to be the guy who's my next president. And I don't think that we have grown up in an era where people are used to seeing somebody who's 38 years old be the next president. But frankly, we live in an era, I mean, you're a creator. I respect that about you, man. But Thomas Jefferson was a creator. He was 33 years old, same age, when he wrote the Declaration of Independence. And he invented the swivel chair while he was at it. Right? And Thomas Jefferson wasn't alone. I mean, Benjamin Franklin invented the Franklin stove, the bifocal spectacles, a remedy to the common cold. We don't have that spirit in this country anymore, and I think that it doesn't have to stay that way. We can bring it back. But that's my job to get done. If we get done, I'll be the next president. And that's the work that I have cut out for me in the next few months ahead.
Do you feel like you have any other weaknesses, though?
Yeah, I'm sure we all have, So do you mean substantive weaknesses or electoral weaknesses?
Substantive.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in terms of being an effective president.
Correct.
I mean, countless. I think we all do. From a personal perspective, look, I'm a guy who has, in my career, been fortunate to work with very bright people in building the businesses that I've built. That was part of my philosophy. Hire people smarter than you or more talented than you in whatever domain I can find them and need them. And when I look back at the people who I've built my businesses or enterprises with, these are some of the most talented people I'll meet in my life. Chose them intentionally with that basis because we started from scratch to build up. I think coming in and running the executive branch of the government with millions upon millions of pre-existing employees who are there not based on merit, but based on civil service protections and other factors, is a different game than being a creator from the ground up. And so I think that will be a new experience for me. One where I can't alone rely on my entrepreneurial experience to do it. Now, I think that entrepreneurial experience provides some real advantages that people otherwise coming from within politics or bureaucracy don't have. But I think the best you can do about your limitations is at least to be aware of them, humble about them. One of the ways that I did build my businesses was to surround myself with people who would challenge me, not just people who were yes men who agreed with me, people who shared the same principles and mission and who are skilled, but often will disagree with me and be unafraid to challenge me to be the best version of myself as a leader I possibly can be. And I intend to lead the federal government the same way as well.